Hello, welcome to the stream. How is everybody doing? Am I even talking? Yes, I am. Cool, I'm being picked up. Sweet. Because if it's the latter, he can't put his controller upside. No, I can't put my controller upside down if I'm talking. Ha 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 ha. Ha. Oh, hang on. Could I do the mic upside down? Do that. To be honest, that actually just looks completely natural. Just talk. How have you got 40k points? Why? Oh, the microphone's drooping. Oh, that looks. Don't read too much into that. Honestly, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about something specific. I wanted to talk, and you've probably guessed by the title already, about Cyberpunk 2077. Now, just to get this straight out there, I haven't played the game yet. So I'm literally coming at this as somebody who has not experienced the game for himself, and I've read some articles, I've read some reviews. Well, I haven't read a lot of reviews. I want to do that today. I'm going to go on to Metacritic and see about the reviews they've compiled. I want to look at a couple of the user reviews on there as well. As some of you may know as well, I am on the GameCreator.com. I write reviews and opinion pieces on the GameCreator.com, and we have a Cyberpunk 2077 deep dive coming on there, so go check them out, keep your eyes open, and hopefully we'll have a big in-depth review on there. But today I wanted to look at what other people have been saying about Cyberpunk 2077. So if you don't know about it already, where the hell have you been? Under a rock? So let's have a look at the summary. What is Cyberpunk 2077? It is an open world action adventure story set in Night City, a megalopolis. No, it isn't. It's megalopolis. Wow, what a word. Can't try saying that 5 times. Just in general, don't need to be drunk. Obsessed with power, glamour and body modification, you play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after a one-of-a-kind implant that is the key to immortality. Okay, that sounds very fantasy, actually. So, right, that's Cyberpunk. But what have people been saying about it? Like, it's got some mixed reviews. That's putting it mildly. It's had a very, very mixed reception. So let's have a look here at some of the scores. So Steam has said that Steam's got a score of 7 out of 10. IGN has scored it 9 out of 10. And Metacritic, their overall score is 90, because they've gone back to their out of 100 rating system rather than the out of 10. But that's from the critics. The critics are giving it 90. And that's how they've worked that out as an average. But users have only scored it 6.8. So I want to have a look on Metacritic now at some of the reviews, both from critics and from users. Banging. So we're on Metacritic right now. I'm going to read 2 from the top and 2 from the bottom. Okay, so we've got from Playzine. Theirs was on December the 8th. They say it's buggy and flawed on many technical but very fixable levels, but Cyberpunk 2077 is a unique and beautiful experience on almost all other levels. All in all, a masterpiece. Which, that's a bit weird, I'll be fair. Yeah, it's weird that they would call it a masterpiece despite its flawed nature, and I feel like that is that's. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me. Speak up in the chat if you do, but I feel like giving them a pass on releasing something buggy like that and still giving it 100 isn't good. I don't think they should give a game developer a pass for a buggy release. I don't care how fixable they are, it still perpetuates that fixing in post attitude that this industry has gone into, and I'm not sure I'm okay with that. But that's Playzine, they've given it 100. Digital Spy is also giving it 100. They say Cyberpunk 2077 is a fantastic game that we have never experienced before and is a window into the future of next-gen gaming and what it's capable of. We are addicted to its world and everything in it, and we don't mind risking our reputation saying that it's easily our game of the decade, despite it missing out on the Video Game Awards for 2020. This is a brutal, visceral world to live in where death seeps through the concrete jungle and every job you take on feels like the beginning of your dark end in this unforgiving landscape. Yet every time we complete a quest and receive some Eurodollars for our effort, we find ourselves itching to rush back into the danger and discover what other horrors await us. So that's a really good review. They've clearly gotten massively immersed. But we're going to scroll down because they have an average of 90. So their bottom two currently of ones that have been released and published are on GameSpot and GamesBeat. So start with GameSpot first. Your mileage may vary, but in our experience the bugs are obtrusive and substantial across the board, often forcing us to reload saves or exit the game entirely. It's hard to get really into a world you constantly have to leave, but then it's hard to get into Cyberpunk 2077's world in general. So much of it is superficial set dressing, and there's so much happening all around you, ads going off at all times, gunfights breaking out in the streets, text coming in about cars you'll never buy, that a lot of the game feels superfluous. The side quests and the characters they showcase are the shining beacon through the neon-soaked bleakness of Night City, and they give you room to explore the best the core RPG mechanics have to offer. These are what carried me through an otherwise disappointing experience. So I'm thinking that's quite the review. I think they're from what I'm hearing, a lot of the and this depends really on the platform that you play this on. I've heard quite a few stories of people who've had the game bug out entirely, had it crash, whether they're on PC, whether they're on console. But from what I'm hearing, the worst experience that you can have is on the PS4 and the Xbox One, because it's just horribly optimized. Textures apparently don't load in, assets don't load in, the frame rate can drop as low as 15 frames per second. So really, if you've got one of those games, it's easy to see why people are frankly pissed off about it. On PS5 and Xbox Series X, it's not as bad, but it's still not perfect. So from what I'm getting, the best experience that you can get, the optimum experience, is on PC, and that still has some bugs. There's been a bit of, I'm pretty sure, I was having this conversation last night with somebody, and they were telling me that they gave this review on GameSpot. Yes, there it is. Just about to mention this. GameSpot did a 40-minute review on YouTube where the reviewer admitted they didn't try a lot of the game. They didn't touch any of the crafting aspect because she didn't feel like it. I was literally just about to mention that, so thank you. So yeah, there's apparently been a bit of uproar about their review because they gave it to somebody who just doesn't play open world RPGs. They're more into their things like Animal Crossing, which, nothing wrong with Animal Crossing. It's a cracking little game, but if your main experience with games is Animal Crossing and those kind of games, you probably shouldn't be reviewing something massive, an open world like Cyberpunk 2077, unless you're coming at it as an outsider to review it as an outsider. GamesBeat, they gave it 60. They were not happy. I think that Cyberpunk 2077 delivers the big budget game thrills that many people are looking for, but it falls short at a few key areas for me, and a lot of that comes as a byproduct of its ambition. So what they reckon is it's gone and been an Icarus, flown too close to the sun, and it's not fared well. So yeah, that was Metacritic. That was the critic reviews. They've put that at a 90, and this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. It's very mixed. We've had mixed outings here, and it's mostly to do with the bugs. But I'll get to that in a moment because I want to read now for the first time some of the user reviews. So here we go. So user score distribution, this is based on 12,678 ratings. A lot of negative, some mixed, but mostly positive, so it's still a 6.8. Here we go. So we'll do the same. We'll go from the top. I'll read a couple at the top. Oh, hello. No, they haven't organised this quite as well. So what we'll do is I'll read these top two. These are 10s. We'll read a few of these ones out, I think. So Podzian says, best game of this decade, sprawling, captivating world, breathtaking wink graphics. Don't know what the wink's about. I'm fully immersed since day one. This game has what I like to call just one more mission syndrome. Can't get enough of it. Okay, I can kind of I can relate to the one more mission syndrome. I've done that a lot, specifically with XCOM 2. That's the I'll just do one more. This one's just a short mission. I'll just do this one. I think I did it with Fallout 4 as well. It's just like, right, okay, I'll get through this bit and then I'll turn it off for the night, so I should go to bed. And then I find myself completing an entire story thread. Or Red Dead Redemption 2, where I did that and went, right, just one more bit, and then it was dawn. So that's one more mission syndrome is a dangerous thing. Kadzitas gave it a 10 as well. They said the game is more than I ever hoped for, which is, wow, okay, considering the hype that it's had over the last, 5 or 6 years. Deep storyline, engaging quests and branching choices. Shooting is very reminiscent of Borderlands 3. Well, that's just turned me off it. Very lootery, way more than I expected. Anyway, although far from perfect tech-wise, for sure it will be ironed out in the near future. And again, that raises a point that I really don't like. Fix it in post syndrome. I don't want that. The industry needs to get off of that horse. They need to really burn that bandwagon to the ground, because it's not good. They shouldn't be releasing a buggy, crappy mess and then fixing it later. They should fix it before they release it. But, we've conceded far too much ground, and thanks to EA and their feckin' loot boxes, people forgot about the fix it in post stuff, and it became normalised. Here we go. They've dropped now. I believe their user ones are out of 10 rather than out of 100. So these aren't all like terribly low scores, just for the record. So 4, that is still a negative. I'm not going to try and pronounce their name. Starts that off strong. I was deceived. This is not the game that I was shown in the trailers. It would be better if all the millions spent on marketing would be spent on programmers. Would invest better in game development. The graphics are terrible. The game does not work well on powerful video cards, and the textures are of poor quality. If you briefly describe the graphics, you get 1. Soap. 2. Poor quality textures. 3. Blueness in lighting. 4. Plastic graphics. In general, the graphics are very much like Fallout 4 for me, if you look closely at the textures. At the end of 2020, the new generation game has no reflections in mirrors on computers. A shame. I've heard that. I have heard that people are unable to see reflections occasionally. But it's not a part of the game. They didn't neglect to put them in. In fact, that is a big feature of the game, that you can see reflections, and they're real-time reflections. I believe the same holds true for Spider-Man Miles Morales as well. I digress though. A shame. The city is trying to seem alive, but in fact it is dead, heavily scripted, very limited. He is only in the role of scenery. Not sure what that means. Damage numbers flying away from the enemy, greatly enrage. Highlighting opponents is also annoying. It feels like another grind game from Ubisoft. Cars are simply uncontrollable. Okay, I feel like this is going to go on for a little bit. So, safe to say, they didn't like it. Here. Spency Boy. Pros, great art design, great music, arguably the best marketing ever for any video game. Not sure that's a pro for a game, to be quite honest. Cons, the RPG elements are incredibly boring or just non-existent. You can't customize your character that much. Clearly, CD Projekt Red exaggerated what you could actually do. Dialogue is poorly written. Bugs, bugs, bugs. Game breaking to visual. Okay. Now, the one thing I've not heard is that characters have little customization, and I've also heard that dialogue is absolutely amazing. So I feel like this might be one of those that's a little bit weird. Sony and Microsoft are offering refunds even if you have played past the 2 hour playtime. Yes, I've heard that. Apparently people are very, very, very upset. And they're at the point now where they're just like, nah, I'm done. Refunds, please. And Sony and Microsoft are giving them out. So what do you guys think? Has anybody, obviously apart from you, Jay, who anybody here played it yet? Has anybody played Cyberpunk? What's the worst bug you've encountered, if any? Or what's the worst thing that you have heard about the game if you haven't played it? Is this the first time that you're actually experiencing anything to do with the game? I mean, I would love to do this on stream, but I can't because apparently they've left a lot of copyrighted music in the game, and there is no option to turn it off. So I am not streaming this game. Even if I get it, I won't be streaming this. I might do a Let's Play on YouTube, or I could stream it on YouTube, I guess. Let us know if you'd like that. You can turn it off now. Oh, you can turn it off now. Oh, okay. Okay, well, if we can turn it off, let me know if you'd like to see that, and I will see if I can get hold of a copy at some point. But I only have an Xbox One and a PC that's, I wouldn't say could do it at its best graphical settings. I would probably have to have low graphics. So let me know if you want that. Help me out. I'm trying to keep everything within Twitch that I do on Twitch, like, paid for by Twitch, if that makes sense. So if you haven't already, please drop us a sub. Help me out. Really, really good stuff. I'm trying to get everything going on in my Discord as well. For don't know why Voorhees is up here. He just wants to say hello. There you go. So come join the Discord as well. We've got some community nights coming up. Hopefully starting this Thursday, I'm going to be playing some Among Us. So if you want in on that, drop us a sub, join the Discord, and we'll have a laugh. Be fun. Here we go. Here's one about PS4 specifically. It's another 0 from Ben14 Dallas. PS4 version is trash. I would never expect such a thing from CD Projekt. Don't buy it. It's lost money. Wait for the discount and updates. Game's unplayable. When you drive a car, the game goes to 15 to 20 frames per second. Ow. That's bad. Now, to be honest, I feel like a lot of it is... There was some problems over at CD Projekt Red in the development, and I appreciate that they kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back until they were like able to release it in an acceptable standard. But I think it got to a point where they were pushing it back so much that they put pressure on themselves. What they should have done is pushed it back to a point where they could actually fix it. So like when it released on December the 10th, they should never have announced any of the other late release dates. They should have just pushed it back. I would have waited till next year, because from what I'm hearing, they rolled out a lot of fixes pretty quickly, which is great. I like the fact that they've been so on the ball with it. I don't like the fact that they didn't do it before the game launched, especially considering how quickly they rolled these out. It already looks like they could have waited a couple more weeks. But obviously, I'm assuming what they've done here is try to get a part of the Christmas market. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what they've done here, and I'm not sure I'm okay with that. But again, I haven't played it, so I can't. I'm just discussing it here, what other people are saying. What somebody else has been saying, if you follow Gameranx over on YouTube, Jake Baldino did one of his 10 things to know before you buy, and he was saying on there that life stories are quite short. Now, the life stories, for any of you who don't know what they are, you kind of get, in a very Dragon Age Origins sort of way, you can select your character's starting point in the game. So, if anybody remembers what they're called, that'd be amazing, because I've totally forgotten. Games journalism, I'm doing really well with it. But I believe there's 3 different starting points. One of them is like a street kid. One of them is com or something. I'm not sure. Corp? Yeah, Corp. That was it. One of them is Corp. I think that's corporate. But they all kind of lead into the same story. So I think what you get, your life story, is basically the intro to your character. And apparently that's very short. But once it gets into the main story, it's complex and in depth. To back up one of those user reviews as well, he's saying that NPCs are quite lifeless, and some of the areas are just set dressing without much thought put into them, but it doesn't make it any less fun to explore. And that comes from Jake Baldino of Gameranx on his Before You Buy video as well. But at the minute, I want to talk about another controversy. So it's rating. The rating is M for mature. So that's for anybody over 17. 17 plus, that's the age that they've put on it. But despite the fact that it's for mature audiences, for 17 plus, some parents are absolutely enraged that their darling little angels can see a penis in the game. And a vagina. You can see vaginas as well, but we'll get to that. My opinion on that particular point is that, don't give a mature game to your kid. You know what I mean? Young children aren't supposed to be playing it. It's why it's got the mature rating in the first place, right? So don't do that. Like this links into something else, another controversy that's been going on recently. A kid got banned on stream for playing Call of Duty Warzone. The reason they cited was because he was cheating. But he clearly wasn't. Everybody watching the stream was like, look, he's not cheating, he's just really good at the game. But it did open up the topic of whether or not he should be playing it anyway. And it's a fair point. Should he have been playing it? He was like 8 years old, and the game is for 18 plus. It is an 18 plus game. He shouldn't have been on it in the first place. So if they were going to ban him for any reason, they really should have banned him for playing it as an 8-year-old child. Because their end user agreement that you actually have to agree to when going on Warzone is that you are of age to play the game. So if any reason to ban him from the game, it should have been that, but no, they went with cheating. Bastards. Anywho, so that's part of the controversy. The other part of the controversy comes from the actual inclusion of the penises and the vagina themselves. Now, please note, I said penises and vagina, as in singular, because you can customise your penis. You can, I think, customise length, width, girth, all that shite. And you cannot customise your vagina. Just one vagina, that's it. Just once you've chosen that, boom, customization's done. So this has pissed some people off. Pardon the pun. This has really wound some people up because they don't feel like there's inclusion there, but there's not an equal chance of customization. What are your thoughts on this? To me, I don't understand the customization of the penis at all. I don't get that. I don't know why that's even included in the game. I don't know how, in any way, shape or form, unless there is a porno sequence, that it could possibly impact gameplay on a moment-to-moment basis, or is there a particular moment in the story where it's relevant to have a massive dick or a tiny penis? What does it do? Why have they included that? It's a very unnecessary customization option. So anybody who has played the game, please tell me, has it at any point come up as to, like, and not in just a throwaway line, I swear to God, if it's just a throwaway line or some like background chatter, how has the penis customization come into gameplay? That was a very poor choice of words. Moving on. My God. Look, to me, I don't want to. I don't get it. Look, I don't particularly want. Like, what would you do? Why would you put it in there? Is it self-insert fan fiction for your penis? Is that it? I don't get it. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to put my penis in a game anyway. So last time I did that, it got stuck and it was very painful. But yes, I want to open this up to you guys now. What are your thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077? Has, if you've played it, are you having a good experience? Are you not? If you haven't played it, what's the worst thing you've heard about it? Or, alternatively, what is your favourite open world RPG that you've ever played? So just whack those down in the comments. Because I have one more thing to talk about, and this comes from Forbes. They're talking about a skill that's actively harmful to your gameplay. They're talking about the dagger throwing perk specifically. Apparently, with the dagger throwing perk, you could waste 1 to 3 skill points because you upgrade the damage that you do with the knife throwing. But there are no specific knives. There are not any throwing knives. You're throwing melee knives, like knives that you pick up for melee combat. And once you've thrown it, apparently that's it. It's gone. You can't pick it back up again. So no matter what the rarity of this dagger is, once you've thrown it, it's gone. You cannot get it back. It seems a weird one to say, okay, it's a perk, but you can't use it without losing equipment. It seems a very odd inclusion, but they've also apparently, as some suggestion, highlighted another harmful perk, and that's the auto dismantle one. Because once you automatically dismantle your junk, it's gone, obviously. And apparently, at the beginning of the game, if you put that in, it can lose you a lot of money, because much like a lot of open world RPG games, you can sell your junk and make a little bit of money on it. It also F's up a bit of crafting stuff, I believe. So, pro tip from a guy who's never played the game: don't get auto scrap your junk early in the game, because you will lose out on a lot of money, and apparently even quest junk that you pick up gets scrapped. So be careful on that one. Do not get auto scrap. Just do it manually, because you could lose important stuff that you actually need. But that's all I wanted to say really on Cyberpunk 2077. That's everything I've got written down. So if you've had fun, please do give us a follow. If you want to see more like this, let me know, because I'm happy to like sit and talk about gaming topics. I can sit and have an opinion on them all day long.